Yo, what's up, manga fans? This is Raphael from C Manga, and I'm here to give you a review of this week's chapter of the Breaker New Ways 144. And straight away, same as before, I have to say I love this chapter straight away. There's no complaints from me with this one. I loved it to bits. And this chapter pretty much delivered what I've been kind of waiting and expecting for quite a while. I think most Breaker fans can say they've been waiting for this for a while. This chapter is kind of, like starting to say, yep, shit's about to get real. The climax is around the corner. The whole new waves that is starting to reach its climax. It's, pinnacle of like drama. And yeah, it was really brilliantly done. I can't say I'm disappointed at all. I was kind of wondering how the reunion would be done, and the chapter, the way it ended, this was done perfectly. I also like how Kang-Sung's character is just so well developed, and I really do enjoy the guy's character, and this chapter made me like him even more. He's so humble. He's willing to give up his life and everything just to take down Sung-Woo if it means saving everything and the martial arts alliance. He's planned ahead for this, and he's willing to put his life on the line for it. And we can see like what he's up against. Like Chung-Woo is super powerful. He's god mode, you might as well say. Like one of his clan members or his group, he said last time, most of the building is wrecked, and Kang-Sang can see this. Like he's getting stronger and stronger, and he still hasn't fully entered, the Black Origin threshold, but he's on the way there. As Kang-Sung can see in his eyes, there's these slits, and he looks more demonic as time goes on. So he's very close to getting to that, and he knows that this is a bad thing because he'll lose his sense of reason and become unconscious killer beasts like we've seen with Shi-Woon and when Chung-Woo used it before in the first part of the Breaker. So he remembers his master's advice, where it's basically he needs to sacrifice his life for this, because this is how dangerous Chung-Woo is. There's no other way of going about it. And he goes into a stance like that. It looks really good, and everyone's shocked, and he's charging up his ki. And while he's doing this, he's remembering a flashback of him talking with one of the members who's noticed the stance. He's a guy with the glasses, and he's basically told Kang-Sung's told this guy, he's told him everything in advance what will happen up to this point. He's going to use a forbidden technique called all counter origin strike, which will use up all the inner ki of a user and most likely take their life. But it's very powerful attack, but obviously you're going to sacrifice yourself for it. But what was interesting was Kang-Sung's already prepared for a successor for, to lead the Murim Alliance, because that's what the guy was worried about. It's like, if you leave, the Murim will fall. But it's like he's already contacted the previous chief, which was, if you guys remember in chapter 137, Mamugi went to speak to him about. So that makes a lot of sense. So anyway, yeah. Kang-Sung's prepared for this. It's like in any case that Chung-Woo goes into Black Origin threshold, and we see that Kang-Sung's charging up his ki. Chung-Woo sees this, and he's like, okay, it's like, whatever you're doing, let's see. And he's getting much closer to Black Origin threshold, and he's charging up, and he's like, I'm actually starting to lose consciousness. It's like, damn it, but there's nothing in the world that can't stop me. That pathetic stance and attack, that's not gonna bother me. And as he's doing this, he's slowly, like we could see in the panels, slowly losing consciousness, fading into black. And just before he falls completely into unconsciousness, he hears a noise, like a loud bang, and he's like, what's that? And then obviously your disciple comes charging in, Shi-Woon, and he's just like, master, it's like, wake up, master, while he's he's crying. It's like, it was kind of bad. He kicked the door down, massive explosion. He walks in, then we see with tears. It kind of conflicted with his entrance. He walks in all sick, and then he's screaming and crying for Chung-Woo to wake up. But what got me was Chung-Woo's facial expression. He seemed generally shocked and surprised to see him. There was no indifference or hatred or just basically as I said, ignorance towards Shi-Woon. He was generally shocked to see him, very surprised, and I dare say maybe a bit happy as well. So I'm wondering, I originally thought that Chung-Woo was deliberately ignoring Shi-Woon, but maybe he generally didn't know that Shi-Woon was back in the Murren world, and seeing him here, stopping him again, just like what happened in, you know, part 1 of the Breaker when it was a similar situation. Here he is right now in front of him, and I'm very interested to see what's going to happen next time. I loved it. That is how you do a cliffhanger, and it's made me excited for next week. So yeah, can't wait for that. I'm wondering now where if Kang-Sung survived or what happened, because it's like he was kind of shown off screen, like in the large panel at the end. We saw from a panned out view, we couldn't see Kang-Sung. So I'm wondering, has he survived, or was he just, you know, pushed into the background because it was focusing on, you know, obviously Chun-Woo and Shi-Woon, because this is their major reunion. But hopefully he has survived, and, you know, Shi-Woon got there in time, and that's obviously hopefully saved him. But I have to say, it's very interesting, a few points that of this chapter's brought out. Obviously the first one, this is, you know, like a direct parallel to part 1 of the Breaker. Shi-Woon's interfered with the fight between Kang-Sung and Chun-Woo, and he's woke him up from Black Origin Threshold. This time he stopped him from entering it completely, which is great to see. You know, I like to see those kind of parallels. Well, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, we see why Mugi has went to see the previous chief in chapter 137, which is obviously in case Kang-Sung dies, the previous chief will reclaim his role as, you know, chief of the Murim Alliance. And yeah, as I said, main thing, I'm wondering if Chun-Woo really does care for Shi-Woon, and now that he's here, I wonder how this is going to change his mood and, you know, what he's doing now. And, you know, is it going to affect him? Is he going to listen to him? Are they going to fight? You know, who knows? I just wonder. I mean, Shi-Woon is still clearly outclassed, but the fact that he's here and his appearance has shown some sort of effect to Chun-Woo is going to make a difference. And then obviously I could see So-Chun probably arriving later, because I don't think things are going to be that simple, and he's most likely going to have to interfere. And then the last thing I can think of is, like, if Chun-Woo is really, you know, just on this revenge path, or just like, oh, working for the SUC and all that, what, like, here it seems like it contradicts what he's really doing. He's working for Kaiser, but here it just seems like he's not really honest with himself. What is his role? What does he really want? He says he wants Seal, and if the SUC deliver it to him, he'll work for them. But why? What is his real deal? And hopefully that will be revealed later on. So, and yeah, that's all I can say. And then maybe next week we might see a flashback chapter of how you know, the Sun Wu clan got into the building, then beating up, you know, all the Zhonglei one's forces and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, definitely looking forward to see what happens next week. The reunion finally happened, and I can't wait to see what kind of discussion or interaction we're gonna have between Chun-Woo and Shi-Woon next week, if we see it next week or the chapter after. So anyway, that's me rabbled on for a bit. I just had a lot to say about this chapter. I loved it. If you guys got any opinions, predictions about this chapter, leave them in the comment box below. Also, if you enjoyed the chapter and the video, leave us a like, because it also helps the series out as well as us. And also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe for more content. As you can check on the top right, we have several things you might be interested in, and obviously browse through the channel and see what you like. So yeah, that's me for today, guys, and I'll speak to you next time for the next chapter.